Kia ora Star Wars fans, welcome to middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. In this video I'm going to talk about action figure stands. Now occasionally in my videos I'll get a comment from somebody saying, where do you get your action figure stands? So today I'm going to talk about the action figure stands that I use, where to get them from and all that fun stuff, so come check it out with me. Alright, first thing you're going to notice in my displays is I really like the clear stands. I'll show you why in a second. Here we go, I've got these display cabinets and they have these awesome glass shelves. So I do give credit to my mate Corey years ago who said, hey man, with those glass shelves you should get clear stands, and I think he was correct. Alright, and here are some of the stands that I like to use. I'm just going to go through them a little bit and tell you where they came from and all this kind of stuff. So first off, there's effectively two different shapes, right? So you got these rectangular ones, and you can see they come with two little pegs there, or they're actually quite high and thick pegs. And then you've got the circular shape. So these two here, this rectangular and the circular, are both star stands. You can get them from a place called Ian's Displays Accessories. There's also Ian's Displays Accessories Australia. So you can find him on eBay. Now these circular ones I just got the other day. These ones I got off eBay as well. You can see there it says Figures Lab, and these ones are really cheap, and I really like these ones. I'll get into why I like these ones so much very soon, but let's just do a quick comparison with the Ian's Displays Accessories. So Ian's Displays Accessories ones are really nice and clear. There's a slight difference in the peg, so we'll talk about that later. And then finally there's these guys that I get from a guy in New Zealand, goes by Plastic Crack. Thank you, Mark. He's provided me with plenty of these over the years. And actually, that's not all. There's some older ones. These are Protect ones. These are quite big ones. So really suit your larger characters. And then I've got some random ones. I can't even remember where these ones came from. I think they came from some Star Wars figure set. Something like that. Anyway, and there's also some other stands that you get with Star Wars figures. Before we move on, we should just give note to the vintage style stands. So one thing that's awesome about the vintage kind of figures is they all had the exact same peg hole, which is something the modern figures don't do. But you can see there it's a chunkier peg than the modern ones. I don't know if you can see on there, maybe if I put them side by side. It's fatter and lower, if you like. One thing I really like about these smaller circular stands is they really suit figures that have sort of a neutral leg stance. So here's the Mithril, and here's one of my 501st Troopers. He doesn't have his legs in an extravagant pose, so he pops on there quite nicely. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, but also check it out. Neither of these guys have rocker ankles, and that's an important thing to bear in mind for now. And here we go, these rectangular ones are really good for a couple of things. So here's a Mandalorian, he's just got a wider leg stance, so I think it suits him really cool. And they're really handy for these battle droids because you can get both feet on there. And yeah, it pulls their legs a bit wider and a bit of a stance, but I think that's really useful for some of my setup. So yeah, the rectangular ones are really handy at times as well. Here's an example of where the wider circular Protect stands come in. A big boy like Chewie. The Protect stands only have one peg hole, but yeah, for someone with big boy like this, they're actually super useful. And I just want to talk about rocker ankles, and I know this is a topic for my buddy Nick, Only One Kenobi, something he gets excited about as well. Have a look at the figures with rocker ankles, and they often have very shallow peg holes, which makes it a super pain to fit on a normal stand. So what often happens is you have to try and jam it on there, and I'll bring it up closer to the camera, and basically it doesn't go in there and you've got them floating essentially, which is a real pain. Now there's a couple ways to get around this. One is you get a drill bit, like so. What size is this drill bit? It's got a bit rusty, so I can't even read what size it is now. But essentially it's the same size as the peg hole, and you can just kind of manually work it. Don't put it on an electric drill, you'll just go straight through the foot. But just kind of manually work it and make that hole a bit deeper. That's not ideal though. So most of my VC231. Sorry, that light just went out. Most of my VC231 Stormtroopers are just like that. However, these new ones that I found recently have a shallower peg hole, and guess what? I popped in a VC231 figure and it just sat in there really nicely, so that's really awesome. As I said before, the Kenner figures have a very consistent peg hole in them, but the modern figures do not. And again, they add new stuff like rocker ankles, so there you go. That stand is cool. So yeah, a lot of variety there, and so you do need a range of stands. Finally, there were a bunch of types of stands that came with the figures themselves. These ones are the classics, the old Comtech chips, because they had the Comtech lines in them, spoken by actors who had clearly never seen the films. We also had these ones with the little Star Wars logo on. I find these are really useful for my Power of the Force 2 figures. That's what I use them for. Also these ones that came with the movie name and the character name, so those ones are pretty cool. And then there were these ones which are almost like environment pieces, and you see they've got these clips here to clip together. There's other ones, of course, as well, other environment pieces that they came with. So yeah, over the years there's been a wide range, and I know that some of my fellow YouTubers like Jesse, Forces with Jesse, has some made by the place where he works, 3D printed. And I know that Only One Kenobi and Boss Bounty really like the ones made by Ian Butler, again 3D printed. But for me, it's all about the clear stand. I think they're fantastic, and I've had to pick up a range of different ones to suit my collection. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I'm middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. Ka kite, and I'll see you on another video.